Seeing a Kled on the support role is not very common, since how is a champion with no real CC spells, range or healing going to work on this position? First of all, he has a really good all-in, and once you caught the enemy with your trap, the enemy can't escape and they are forced to fight till their death. And when you get into this scenario with Kled Support, you can be sure to collect a double kill thanks to the remount ability, and 2 specific summoner spell that give you some time to get the energy bar full, baiting most enemies to fully commit to the fight even when they quickly want to make a 1v1 trade. And with his ridiculous amount of mobility, Kled can easily run down the enemy a D carry without any problems. Oh yeah, and he doesn't has mana. But let's start step by step at level 1. I saw this off-meta pick on the Rock Tofu channel. Don't forget to check out his channel right after this video. At the start of the game, Kled Support is going to buy a steel shoulder guard and 2 health potions. The first skill point should be invested into the Q spell, which is a trap thrown towards the enemy and pulls him back when the bond between Kled and him lasts for about 2 seconds. This can be a great tool to harass your laning opponent when he can't poke you back, since after the pull you can just run them down with auto attacks, forcing them to use flash or other summoner spells to secure their existence. The health pot they are going to use right after won't be that effective, since Kled Q spell applies grievous wounds, reducing the healing effect by 4%. But this only works on champions that can't poke at this stage of the game. When that's not the case, the only viable option would be to wait till level 3 until Kled unlocks all his abilities. The second one should be put into the E spell, which is a dash. But not just an ordinary boring dash. When Kled manages to dash through an opponent, he gets marked for 3 seconds. And when you recast this ability within the marked time, Kled dashes towards the enemy. But at this stage of the game, you should only use this spell to disengage. Even when the enemy was weak at level 1, never ever come up with the idea to fight again at this stage of the game. It just isn't worth it. Just be patient and wait till you reach your next level. At level 3, you are going to skill the W spell, which is quite simple. As soon as Kled auto attacks something, this ability is activated and grants the next 4 autos with 150% bonus attack speed and 20 physical attack damage. Now, we have the best time to all in with Kled. First of all, you are going to use the E spell as a gap closer, which allows Kled to come in range in order to hit his trap. The 50% additional movement speed at the end of the dash he gets for 1 second secures the pull of the Q spell, and once Kled managed to pull this moron away from his tower, you have basically collected a kill. As soon as you auto attack the enemy, Kled unleashes the W spell, dealing a ton of damage, but what the hell? The enemy is melting your health bar, and when it keeps going like this, Kled is going to die for sure. Well, the time has come for his 2 summoner spells, which are very important. Exhaust and Barrier. Yeah, you heard it right. Kled is not going to take flash with him. First of all, you won't really need it on the bot lane, since against this immobile AD carry, the E dash is more than enough, and these 2 summoner spells are going to secure you a double kill just like this. Kled is going to exhaust the enemy carry in order to reduce his damage and barrier himself as soon as he dismounts. This is very important, since Kled needs some time to make this energy bar full, which is needed to remount again. Therefore, he has to deal damage towards the enemy, and that is going to take some time. This can be bought by these 2 summoner spells. But since Kled stays at this low amount of HP for quite a long time, it easily baits the enemy into thinking that this Yordle is going to die within the next 2 auto attacks, so they keep attacking and attacking. Meanwhile, it gives your carry some time to deal some damage towards them and Kled to remount, granting him with a lot of HP in the trap that pulls the enemy back after realizing that trying to kill this supporter was a stupid idea. The best thing you could do would be running away, since Kled gets slowed hard without his horse and loses the ability to dash and his trap that could pull someone back. He gets a shotgun in return that knocks him back and allows him to get some energy. But the fact that this small thing is low on HP is more than enough to bait these idiots into a fight they can't win. Now the enemy is going to respect you guys even more, since we have now collected 600 gold and have a small advantage against them. Maybe Kled is already capable to purchase the serrated dirk, which is his first power spike, since from now on he can deal a ton of damage. When you get pulled back at this stage of the game, the enemy is going to lose this trade for sure. But there is one big downside playing Kled on the support role, and that's the lack of options to remount. Besides the all-ins, Kled has no real source where he can get the energy from to bring back. Once he gets dismounted before the engage, Kled will have a tough time to remount again. The Kled on the top lane can just fram minions and hit the turret of the opponent to solve that problem. Kled on the support role, however, has to recall to get his horse back or engage with everything he has. Therefore, the next tool might help. But this isn't even the most annoying part of Kled Support yet. This Yordle gets really hard to deal with when you unlock the ultimate on this thing, since as soon as Kled hits level 6, even the mid laner isn't safe from him. The ultimate called Charge. allows Kled to gain more movement speed and shield when he travels further and bonk into the first enemy target he encounters. This makes it impossible for the enemy bot lane to dodge this ultimate when you used it from a moderate distance and place the travel location correctly, since once you bonk into them, it is easy to hit them with the trap and the dash. And since your AD carry also gains movement speed, he can follow up without any problems and collect kills as well. But what if there is a defensive supporter who is going to save his AD carry and redirect the ultimate towards himself? Well, that's not a real issue since Kled can just easily dash through him and catch that useless thing with his Q spell. Oh, and this guy is now dead for sure. But you should always take care where exactly you want to travel with Kled ultimate, since when you accidentally ult into the whole enemy team, Kled is just going to disappear in a matter of seconds. He isn't a frontliner that can tank away all incoming enemy abilities.
What?
So you should always ult near the combat area and not directly into the team fight. From there on you should look out for the enemy hyper carry and burst them down, since Kled major strength isn't team fighting due to the lack of AoE spells. Once you are in the middle of a chaotic teamfight, Kled can deal a decent amount of damage to a single target and be quite annoying, since once you dismount him, the enemy team starts to focus him in the hope to burst Kled down in a short amount of time. But suddenly he remounts and all of a sudden, all these spells are just wasted, and giving your teammates enough time to kill them while they are focused on a Kled support. Here are the build and runes for this off-meta pick. And if you want to know why Orange Jungle always has an item advantage at the first Scuttle Crab fight, click on this video right here.